Railers need to play 32 minutes. If they only play 20 like they have, then they're going to lose.
Coyne and Davis with the opening tip, and it'll be Springfield Southeast winning the possession to start the contest. They'll be moving left to right as we get things started here in the first quarter. We thank you for spending some of your Saturday night with us. Railer basketball here on 96.3 FM. Southeast moving the ball around to Gardner. Senor down low to Davis. Tipped away by Smith into the hands of Anderson. Anderson cut off by Gesner. Now in the right corner now to Gardner. Back on top to Jagger Anderson.
He's back. He was injured. He didn't play in college, I don't believe.
Anderson working against this Railer pressure. There's Jacoby Anderson coming back.
Brothers. Man, Jacoby's a tank.
Gardner fires off a three. It's on the way. Spins out. No good. Coyne, the rebound for the Railers.
Yeah, good job by the Railers. Really patient by the Spartans, and a good job by the Railers of staying patient on the defensive end, too.
Jagger Anderson starts on Nelson just like he did last year.
Coyne high post, looking for Nelson to pop out. Instead, it's taken away from behind by Senor. 3-on-3 break. Senor up the left side off the glass, and it bounces in.
First Railer turnover results in the first points of the ballgame for Southeast.
Nathaniel Smith into the front court.
Smitty matchup with Jacoby Anderson. And
Nelson cutting down the lane, the little finger roll, and a nice pass from Nathaniel, and Jordan on the board with a 2, and we're tied.
Nelson should have a quickness advantage over Jacoby Anderson.
Jacoby swinging around now. They work it to Jagger. Got there just in the nick of time.
Nice.
Down low, Davis back out.
Good Railer defense, very patient. Moving when the ball's in the air. There you go.
Tipped away, but into the hands of Davis off the glass and good. 2 easy scores for Southeast, and they're up 4-2.
And just that quick. The Railers looking to bring in Christian Van Hook.
Nathaniel working against Jacoby Anderson. Hands it over down to the left corner to Kirby. Austin hounded by Gardner, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Gardner. As Tom said, Christian Van Hook will be checking in. He will be replacing Brant Coyne. Christian comes in averaging about 7.5 points a contest, but struggling from the line so far, only a 39% shooter.
This is more a game for Christian than it is for Brant. Just the level of quickness is such that it's going to be a challenge for Brant all night.
Gesner bounces into Van Hook. Just a couple minutes into the contest, Southeast with a 4-2 lead. Gesner, and a foul is going to be whistled on Chris Davis, a little too aggressive on the sideline against Gesner. First on Southeast, first on Davis.
Yeah, and Southeast showing that they're going to be real aggressive, especially on Gesner and Kirby. They don't give them any slack, so those guys are going to have to be really strong with the ball and, just make one move and try and get by somebody.
Smith, there you go. Oh, backdoor wasn't there. Gesner, little spacing issue, thrown away. Too many Railers in too small a space, and that forces a turnover to Southeast. Senor up quickly to Jagger Anderson.
Southeast showing a lot of patience on the offensive end, more than I would have imagined. They really like to shoot it.
High post, down low, baseline kick it inside out. Long 3 on the way from Senor. That's off the back of the rim, no good, but Senor tracks down his own miss. Inside to Davis, cutting down the lane, and he missed it. Smith and Anderson fighting for it, and Smith tips it over to Nelson. Railers with a chance to tie, take a lead with a long one.
Yeah, good battle by Smitty underneath the boards. We're going to have that all night. Now we've got to look for him to score.
Gesner, career high 18 last night.
A lot of hand checking.
Kirby in the lane, a little 8-footer is up and good.
Good look by Gesner that time, finding Kirby.
Game tied at 4, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Jim's fairly quiet for a Railer Southeast game.
Really quiet.
Senor over to Anderson.
This place is packed.
Gardner looks to make a move. Nathaniel reaches in, tries to lob it down to Davis. Davis with the catch, didn't go down, but he will go to the line shooting 2. And guys, I don't think it's going to be any mystery. We know where we're going to find Davis all night on the baseline.
Yeah, that's what he did last year. We remember Chandler, when he didn't shoot it from the free throw line, our guys started to converge on him, and he did a great job of finding Davis underneath. And he was an excellent finisher last year, and really should have made the last one. On the last possession, he missed a layup, but looks like right there we might have a chance to send him to the line a few times.
Davis misses the first one, didn't look good.
No, and so far, Jeff, Southeast has 6 shots to the Railers 2.
Well, going to the stats, 9 of 23 for Davis from the free throw line, 39%. He just went down after those 2 misses.
Yeah, so probably not a bad hack-a-Davis strategy.
Railer opponents are now 1 out of their last 9 from the free throw line. Gesner, and a foul is going to be whistled on Gardner. as he was trying to knock it away from Gesner. But, one thing I've seen so far with taking care of the basketball, we've got to go to the ball.
Yeah, real nonchalant and not very forceful on our passes.
Southeast closes quick, and they're very fast. You've got to, as you say, Jeff, you got to go get the pass.
4.5 to go. Railers tied. Gesner and Gardner get tangled up. Gesner with it, gets a screen from Van Hook. Comes around that screen on the dribble. Nelson frees up 3 on the way up and good.
Yeah, good screen there too. Yeah, one thing, Jordan, a way of getting open. He didn't get open last night. A way you do that is use your screeners. Get shoulder to shoulder, and that time he did.
You bet. Anderson pull up. Missed it. 3 Railers there under the boards, and Kirby comes out of there with it for Lincoln.
Good start for the Railers.
Nelson working against Jagger Anderson into the front court on the right side high. He's picked up his dribble, flips it over to Nathaniel Smith. Smith working against Jacoby Anderson. Nathaniel between the circles. Now they've switched on Davis. Hands back out to Jordan. From the volleyball line, it's up. Left it just short. Southeast at 3:37, down 7-4, looking to get into this contest with the Railers.
That's the first real questionable shot the Railers have taken. That's a good sign.
Gardner looks to go baseline on a block. It's going to be whistled, and if that's on Nathaniel, quickly, Nathaniel's picked up 2.
Yeah, that's not what the doctor ordered for the Railers tonight. We can't afford to have him, and then just a step slow on the baseline. So Coach got a decision. He's got to take him out, especially right now.
Seymour's 3 left it short again. Nathaniel with the rebound.
I think he's going to live with it, Josh. Nathaniel's a senior. He's got to step up and play with fouls. The Railers are really getting pushed out front.
Van Hook between the circles. Over in the left wing to Nathaniel. Nathaniel, they were going to go for the lob play, wasn't there? Jordan will fire off a 3. It's on the way. It's up and good again.
Jordan feeling it tonight so far. The Railers need a bunch of those.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first. Railers have extended to a 10-4 lead.
This is familiar territory. We were up 10-4 on Springfield last night, about the same point. And it was all downhill from there.
Gardner looks to drive against Gesner, and I think a foul is going to be whistled on the junior.
This officiating crew usually doesn't blow a whistle very much, Jeff. They've already called 5 in 5 minutes.
Number 5, Jordan Gesner, his first team third.
Jake Olson checks in, and he will replace Gesner. 2:45 to go. Railers on top, 10-4. Southeast looking to inbound. They do so out high to Anderson. Swinging around. Nice. Tipped away by Nelson. Almost stolen away by Olson. Little chaos, and then traveling is going to be whistled on Jagger Anderson. And he's not going to get credit for anything in the stat sheet, but one hustle by Jake Olson, who gave up his body twice to help that possession go back to the Railers.
Well, too, Coach Alexander having a lot of confidence in the senior right now. Smitty's got to be really careful here. He can't pick up a stupid foul. I don't care if you have to give up a layup. We need him in the lineup, in the playing on the court. We can't have him sitting on the bench with 3.
Needs to be careful too if he wants to take it to the basket. You don't want that third to be an offensive foul
or a rebounding foul going over the back.
Yep.
2:20 to go in the first. Railers with a 10-4 advantage as we get started. Nathaniel looking to go back. So here comes Nelson around the screen.
And they called the screen on Christian.
That's that same one last night.
Yeah,
Christian got hung up on that last one, on that screen last night on the same play, I believe.
Yep.
And he's got to be straight. He's got one job to do, and that's stay there and be set. The guy that's cutting off of him has to do the other part.
Yep.
Oh man.
Davis in the lane, but he lost it. Ball's going to be going out of bounds there. The Railers caught a break there. I'm not sure if Davis was going to pass it to a teammate that was cutting down the lane, or if when his teammate came down, he actually knocked it out of his hands.
Coach Thomas looked at him with his hands on like, why didn't you just shoot that? It was too unknown.
2 minutes to go. Railers hanging on to that 10-4 advantage here in the first quarter. Olson, Smith, Kirby, Van Hook, and Nelson on the floor for the Railers.
Yeah. Smith beats him, and Anderson just hooks him with his hip. And there's nothing Smith can do, and until they call that, there's nothing he's going to be able to do.
Gardner's now picked up his second as Nelson just received the pass about 30 feet away, and Gardner came up very aggressively. And I think Jordan did a nice job of leaning in a little bit, so when Gardner got there, that space wasn't there that he was expecting, and Gardner's now picked up his second. So both teams with 2 key players with foul trouble.
Gardner at Collinsville actually hit a game winner at the buzzer. He banked one in for about 25 to send him into the semis.
After the inbound, Nathaniel holding out high, works it around to Nelson. Nelson standing on the Spartan load up. Christian with a nice pump fake, lost the ball in the lane, and a timeout's going to be taken by the Railers to keep it.
By Smith.
Nathaniel went over to the official, and I think they're just going to take a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. 1:35 to go. Railers on top 10-4, and that was, again, we talked about getting the ball down low, not being aggressive. But you've also talked about a pump fake. Great. That's all it needed, but then Christian just lost the handle.
Yeah, great pump fake there by Christian. Did everything we're supposed to do. Just lost the handle on the ball. It should have been 2 points, but that's one thing we got to do. And guys, early on, execution by the offense has been 10 times better than what we see. We're running plays. We're using our screens. The things that we're seeing back at the start of the season or even last year or the Railers that we know, the offensive execution is a lot better tonight and against a very stingy defense.
Something interesting, they actually timed the timeout on the scoreboard clock. I've never seen that. That's very odd. But yeah, Christian did everything right that time, and that pump fake will pay off for him down the road.
After the timeout, a bad pass by Austin trying to get it to Jordan. And Jordan not in a good position to receive the pass, so a turnover gives it back to Southeast.
4 Railer turnovers so far versus 2 for Southeast.
Into the contest for the first time for Southeast is 5'9" senior Rodney Smith. Also in Peyton Fleming, a 6-foot junior. Josh, I think he was their leading scorer last night.
Yeah, Fleming, I believe, is the one that had 17.
3 up and good. That's Herman Senor, his first 3 of the night. And it's cut to a 10-7 lead for the Railers as we approach the 1-minute mark.
Fleming played well at Collinsville for him.
Kirby flips it over to Nelson. Nelson having a little trouble with the dribble. Now left side to Austin. Austin. Christian, top of the key. Tries to make a move, instead gets it back out to Kirby. Now we're at 42 seconds. Nelson pulls up and takes a long 3, and he drills it.
Railers 3 of 4, and 4 of their 6 have been 3-pointers, so much for balance.
Nelly with 11. Anderson comes back. He tries another 3. Tipped out of bounds. It's going to be last touch by Fleming. So the Railers, with 27 seconds to go, up 6, 13-7. A chance to score at the end of the first and possession to start the second.
Big trip here. You want to take a good shot no matter when it comes, but I think in a perfect world you'd run it down.
Olsen in the backcourt now. There's Nathaniel. Down to 22 seconds.
Nathaniel doing a lot of ball handling right there. He's got it.
Nathaniel gets by his guy, and a foul is going to be whistled at Anderson.
5 all night. Yeah. The guy should have 5 fouls by now. He's got 1.
Yeah. But Smitty, to his credit, as soon as he saw Anderson slip, he went right by him, and he's got to call attention to that foul.
You're right, and I think Smitty can do a little bit better job of going into him a little bit farther. I think he's kind of backing away from the holding. I think he can be a little more of that actor and get a little more body into him.
That's exactly right.
13-7, Railers on top. 15 seconds to go in the first. Nelson working against Senor.
Quite the battle with those two. They've been battling each other for about
a year. Nelson in the lane, and it wouldn't go, but he's fouled.
Yeah.
Foul's going to be whistled on Senor. That'll be his first. That'll send Jordan Nelson to the line shooting 2. Jordan coming in a 77% free throw shooter on the season. Free throw on the way up and good.
There's guys that give Jordan some trouble, and Senior's not one of them. He's not strong enough.
Right.
The guys that we saw last night were like Gilchrist, who are strong and quick. And when you don't body Jordan Nelson, he can get around you. Last night, Gilchrist did a great job of using his quickness and his strength. If Senior guards Nelson for much longer, he's going to have a field day.
Jordan misses the second one, 14-7, down to 3, down to 2. Long 3 on the way, that's no good. Put that, would have counted, I think, but it did not go down. At the end of 1, good start for the Railers. It's Lincoln 14, Southeast 7. Back with the second quarter in a moment. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.